Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. And in this session, where we're going to try to get some responses as to what happens to souls when they commit suicide. Is there a different place for them? The questions have arisen so often. I'm going to spray some olive oil mist. I use that usually when I'm working. And who was Stephen tWitch Boss? Most of you who are here know him. He's passed away barely a month ago yesterday. He was an American hip hop dancer, choreographer, actor, television producer, and television personality. And in 2008, he finished in second place on the American version of So You Think You Can Dance. And from 2014 to last year, he was featured on the Ellen DeGeneres Show as a co-host, and he was also a co-executive producer of the program. He was featured in her Game of Games as a sidekick to DeGeneres. And between 2018 and 2020, he and his wife hosted Disney's Fairy Tale Weddings on Freeform and Disney Plus. And it was communicated that he committed suicide, and not many other details were communicated in the press. As far as, to the best of my knowledge, I'm going to start and just see what I can see from here. Let's see. Let me get a couple of the questions I'm finding here. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm not going to take personal questions. Okay. All right, let's see what we can do. Very cocky. There's a cocky energy. He's quirky, cocky. The spirit is not uneven, but there is a humorous side to him. Yeah. Think. All of you think. Just because I ended my life, it is not a matter of shame nor against any divine laws. You reason with your understanding of spiritual laws. But remember, souls enter a body, they incarnate when they decide, and are also the deciders of when they leave their bodies. You ask many questions about souls who have passed, people, spirits who have left their bodies, that you yourself know, that you yourselves know personally. And you wonder, what will that soul's fate be? I can tell you that there is no place particular for souls, people who commit suicide. When the soul leaves the body, they are no longer incarnated, and as such, they enter the realm of souls, all souls, and they, especially in my case, I was not an earthbound soul. I had no tragic death. I knew my end. And when I crossed over, I was among the realms where my ancestors greeted me, no more or no less than any other soul. My soul was not in a dark place when I passed. It was in the light. I understand what I am telling you may not be perceived as aligning with established religions, but you need to look beyond individual religions to understand our bigger picture. Okay, this our bigger picture was our inclusive of us. Okay. There are many questions about our own spirituality. Let's see if we can get some answers. You and many others ask about contacting a higher self. Do you realize that a higher self is a part of our soul that communicates with spirits, with guides? The realm of our higher selves is a realm of spirits and souls past. It is a spiritual realm. And in this, you can glean knowledge that otherwise would not be available to you. Many ask how, and many ask why. For the how, most, but I stress not all, reach this realm through meditation. For many people, it is not necessary. Meditation sometimes can block you from reaching that spiritual realm. Many need simply to look up and see what they visualize, but also use their other senses, their sense of smell, but sight as well, the sense of hearing, feeling, and what we call sensing. Sometimes we can use our human senses, but there is something more that needs to be used that has nothing to do with the human sense. It is an area, it is a dimension that you reach quite naturally, most of you, quite naturally, when you are starting to sleep and feel sleepy and moving in and out of sleep. It's going from here to there and, talking, but moving as if he has, things in his hands. It's going like this and like this and like this and like this and like this. And he has, he's showing himself as black and white, a black shirt with the white tie, white cuffs. It's a black and white, almost, but it is color. I see the color image, but this is the way he's impulsing us. This continues. This I say to those who ask me about higher self. But there are people who do not use that language. They use a language of pure spirituality. They ask, how is it possible to understand what spirits are trying to tell us? In many ways, my answer is similar, but it is not like anything you have experienced so far. Many of you understand the dream world, and even if the dream world shows us stories and people where we can imagine that a part of us are those people in our dreams, the underlying message that is communicated is one of revelation. Dreams reveal to you things that you would like to understand. They are premonitions often, but they are more often warnings or admonitions in the sense of telling us to beware of something like curiosity. He's saying curiosity killed the cat, as if there is, let me go back. We are not, as humans, meant to know all things that are not of your world, but you can have the gift of orientation in a world made up partially of third dimensional problems and fifth dimensional energies. You can perceive developments, but not in a precisely clear way. This guy is a trip. He is a trip. He's a trip. It's not, I get the impression I'm communicating with, I didn't mean that. I'm communicating with someone who has no rules. There are no rules. There are no, you give him a script and he has to say something on the air. But I get the impression this is a person who wants unbridled freedom, unbridled, very, very difficult as a spirit to talk to, but also probably a person to interact with. Okay, there's a question about his family. Were you happy with your family? And weren't you sad to leave your children? I loved my family, and it was precisely because of that I left, because I understood they would grow in a way they would not have grown had I been alive. Fame and fortune, even very little, a very little bit, can change the way you develop, the way you think, and the way you grow and communicate with others. I was seeing a change in my family, in my entire family, which was natural, but I saw that they were strong enough to be able to grow, continuing in a manner that would suit their divine growth. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. There is a question about righteousness, about the soul's righteousness. I'm not sure if I could put it on the board, on the, see, for some reason, this is very, I'm moving out everything. I can't get it to, let me see if I could read it out to you. Shri, sorry, I can't get it big enough for anybody to see it. Let's put it this way. It makes a choice. The soul makes a choice. Out of fear of righteousness. Does it necessarily mean good karma? Or is it survival of the fittest? I'm so confused. I'm confused as to the question. So let's see if Stephen can understand that, something that we don't. Let's see. No, it is not a matter of survival in the sense of the fittest. I can tell you my experience. My experience was an attitude of serenity. I was serene in the sense that I understood I had the calmness to decide what to do of my own life. And when you speak of righteousness, the word righteousness is a paradox. Who is right? And why are they right? Karma is perhaps one of the most widely accepted notions of developments occurring from our actions and decisions. It is true, life is a series of decisions. The final act of ending a life, too, is a decision. And then your soul moves on. You ask about me taking rebirth. No, I am now part of a galactic council for a number of reasons. I am one of the souls who in future will in turn return, but will have a mission to accomplish, namely to assist a change in consciousness. Gone. The end of something he was saying. I missed it. Let's see. Rak Patel asks about his famous, most favorite moments of his life. Okay. And was it in tune with the purpose of his life? I always cherished moments with my family, and true moments felt of love among all those I came into contact with. So I cannot say there was one precise moment. I indeed lived with love and in love. I believed my choice, my contract, why I came into that incarnation was over. And that is the reason why I left. But you see, my choice did, of course, affect those remaining. But those remaining also had a contract and part of their contract was to become involved in a situation of this kind. There is an entire network of occurrences that are inextricably linked one to the other. There is not one thing that occurs without something else occurring. There are no isolated moments in life. No, none at all. This is quite a job here. Okay. Okay. There are questions about how do we know certain what lessons we need to learn. All right, this idea of a lesson. Let me just stop at that and see what the response is. I say potato, not potato. A lesson is a contract that the soul decides for itself. And this is what we all, you and I, had done, came into life to experience. Not a lesson per se, but an experience, an emotional experience that souls wish to have. I am resting in peace. Believe me, I am not at all in turmoil or suffering. May you as well have peace while you think of difficult questions in this moment of time during these months. Please recall in the last 2 months how many changes have occurred, how many shifts have happened. I call them shifts. You may believe they are problems, issues, tragedies. These are all changes that together create an entirely different context for you, a different human context. Embrace it. Embrace those experiences and be thankful they have occurred in your life so you can live differently and with greater awareness. Thank you. You can hear the bells. There's a church behind my house. Come all ye faithful, come and rejoice. The Mass is starting that now. Thank you so much for joining me. You can see around the screen I have my locations, my websites. Stay well and hold on, because this trying time will pass. It will pass. It's trying for us all. Believe me. Believe me. My love to you. Bye-bye.